go because you know what I came here to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
Conor Benn, I don't think he can prove he's innocent. I don't know if he's guilty or not. I don't think he can prove he's innocent. But then again, Tyson Fury and Huey, they didn't prove they was innocent. They admitted culpability for Nandrolone. And the compromise was they accept that the Nandrolone was found inside them. They accept the violation charge. That still stands and is withheld. I can bring you the whole statement if need be. They accepted culpability for a swift resolution, compromise on both sides. UCAD didn't want the case to keep going on. It was costing them a lot of money, time consuming, lawsuits were being threatened, and this was the compromise between the two parties. A backdated ban, you accept culpability. We'll withdraw the penalty for missing them test dates, because he missed test dates, Tyson Fury. And they got on with their careers. And Tyson went on to make fortunes. With Tyson's case, Daniel Kinahan pulled a lot of strings to get Tyson Fury back in the ring. That's known. Like Canelo, when he got popped for clenbuterol, he did the 6 months ban. That was later turned over. And they upped the dosage of how much trace amount you have to have before they consider you dirty to exonerate Canelo. That's power. You change the flipping regulation around the violation over an athlete. That's power. When he done that press conference, he had lawyers, doctors, pressmen, you name it. The WBC, and they all spanned for him. And they all were spinning for Canelo. You know, he privately took a hair follicle test, which is inadmissible within VADA's rules. But it was all part of the propaganda strategy. You're not going to stop powerful people putting dirty athletes in the ring for profit, you know. Oscar Valdez tested positive for a substance. Wasn't stripped by the WBC. He wouldn't have been able to fight in Vegas or California. Bob sent him to Arizona, and he was commissioned by the Pascal Yaqui Tribe Commission to fight the Brazilian. Bob's not new to this. Rich, powerful people know how to get around things. It is what it is. And whether Conor is guilty or not, the Eubank fight makes a whole lot of money. This is a fight that when it was announced, the tickets were sold within an hour at the O2 Arena. All the tickets were sold. But even if they hold it in the Middle East, which looks like the likelihood on June the 3rd, does it still make the same type of money it would have first time around? Now Eubank's been knocked out by Liam Smith. We were talking about 1 million pay-per-view buys last time out. This time around, it will still do exceptionally well, but maybe not as well. But, you know, still good business. And yes, I'm on the wrong side of the bias because I've always been a Eubank fan from his dad. I like Nigel Benn. I like Conor. So I'm on the wrong side of the bias. I want to see the fight. I'll admit that. At the same time, I don't know if Conor is guilty. I don't know if he's clean. I really don't. I don't want to go through all the case, why you could make a case for him being clean. I don't want to go through all that. I think Conor is a little unrealistic thinking that the WBC are going to go back on what they said with the eggs, explaining why he could have had clofamine in his diet. Conor wants to be exonerated, and he wants the WBC to say they didn't find anything in his system. He doesn't want to take none of the liability, but he wants the WBC, he wants VADA, he wants everybody to say they made mistakes except him. And that's a little arrogant. I don't know if naive is the right word. He has to accept that that asterisk is there. And there's a big demographic who believe he's a dirty athlete, and he has to accept that. And the fact that he's not, it's a bit immature. And why I say it's immature, because the show goes on. There's a bigger picture than the situation with him getting popped. There's a bigger picture. You know, there's a lot of boxers who get popped or get injured or can't get fights or this happened or that happened or they've got to leave the game broke. This kid is going to go to Saudi Arabia if he doesn't get a license from Britain and make a fucking fortune. Time to stop crying that you want to be cleared by everybody. I'm clean. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. He wants to say it was contamination or a setup. Nobody wants to hear that. At this stage here, people want to see you get in a fight, whether that's because they want to see you get beaten up or beat someone up. They want to see you fight now. It is what it is. And his backers at MATCHROOM and DAZN, they're going to try and cash in on Conor.
Spencer Oliver did mention that it was immoral to put that fight on. What are your comments on
You
that?
mentioned what?
He said it's immoral to put that fight on.
Spencer Oliver said it's immoral.
Yes.
Spencer Oliver's got a lot to say. He's a mouthpiece for certain people. That's what he is.
The fact that you failed 2 tests and you need to prove your innocence, and you say you've got your innocence in your 270-page document, but you won't present it to the British Boxing Board of Control. The WBC have reinstated you into the rankings, which means fuck all. Doesn't clear your name. To clear your name and to get the public back on your side, you have to present those documents to the British Boxing Board of Control. But for some reason he won't. Why not?
Talk Sport, they talk about Conor Benn like it's the only PED case ever. The amount of attention and videos they put focus on, their outrage and the moral issues. And the truth is, you can do the research yourself and see how much videos they got dedicated to Conor Benn and the Clovermead compared to what two-weight world champion Zolane Tete, who popped over there at Queensbury, or how much they've asked Frank Warren about that case. And he actually went in the ring and hurt his opponent pretty bad. It was a devastating knockout. Maybe TalkSport will start warming towards Matchroom. Now Matchroom have this Sky channel, but we know TalkSport is owned by Sky. And you might disagree, but I believe they've had a bit of an agenda against Eddie, Matchroom and DAZN. I do believe that. And perhaps the fact that Eubank and Benn, last year, the tickets sold out in less than an hour and was going to do huge pay-per-view as well. Who knows? Like, there's a lot of holes and red flags in the whole thing. And no, I don't know if Conor is guilty or not. I haven't got a clue. I know Eddie and Cali want to put the fight on Cali. He wants to see more documentation that Conor could be clean. But he's not doing that because he's worried it's an unlevel playing field with Conor cheating, because we know he was going to put Eubank in the ring until the mole put it out there and the British Boxing Board of Control cancelled it. He was going to put them in, and Eubank was willing to as well. But it's basically to satisfy the Wasserman Group, Channel 5, and make it look all above board. Not because, he thinks it's an unlevel playing field. Let's make that clear. Eddie, he wants to burn up Ben Shalom and take the Eubank and Smith fight away from him. Ben Shalom, he definitely wants it to happen because he's got an unhappy fighter right now. We know this. That's why you see Liam Smith disappointed that Eubank won't exercise the rematch clause, because he has to search for a payday now. This is prize fighting. These guys fight for money. Let's not get it twisted. They fight for money. And Ben Shalom is going to have to explain to Liam Smith what happened to the rematch. How did we lose the fight? How are you going to get me paid? It's a dirty game. It is a dirty game. Because there's a lot of pressure situations. There's a lot of pressure on Eddie Hearn. He doesn't have a male world champion on the UK Matchroom roster. Not one. And it's all right promoting Canelo. That's great. That's great. That gives him an extra 10 yards on every promoter in the game. No doubt. But his success is based on domestic cards. That's solid money. It's always reliable money. But right now, it looks shaky. The UK money, apart from AJ, and it looks shaky. Fights like Eubank and Benn have to be made. Ben Shalom has spent a lot of money, a whole lot of money, and the returns, let's look at it. Joseph Parker, he signed up with them for a whole lot of money. What happened in his first fight? Got battered by Joe Joyce. Savannah Marshall, first fight on Boxer, got beaten by Clarissa Shields. Lawrence Okoli, yeah, he won on Saturday, but lost a lot of fans in winning.
Like I said, timing is everything, and I think there's an opportunity for that fight to get made. I don't think there's another fight out there for Fury that pays anywhere near the amount of money that an AJ fight does. So Fury's all about the money, we know that. And at the same time, who else can he fight? Yes, he can fight Joe Joyce, yes, he can do these other fights, but that's the fight. Everything hinges on Saturday night. He needs to win this fight. If he can do it in dominating fashion, then I think we could stand in the ring at the end of the night and say, Tyson Fury, let's go.
Now, this is the Beats take. This is opinion-based, little forecasting. Looks like Jermaine Franklin has got himself a six-pack. He's worked himself into a frenzy to get in shape. He wants to score an upset. It's a dangerous fight. But a dangerous fight, I expect Anthony Joshua to win. Only thing that worries me is him transitioning through coaches so rapidly, from Robert McCracken to Angel Hernandez, Robert Garcia, and now Derek James. Hopefully he's settled and ready to go and not caught between styles. His body shape looks different. He looks muscular, but not as shredded. Is that for the better? Less oxygen burning up in the muscles, as some suggest? Or is he taking Jermaine Franklin as serious as he should be? Because if he's not fast, with his hands and combinations and reflexes, he could find himself in some shit. I expect him to win the fight. And if he does, I think Bob Arum, who stayed very silent, will want to take control of the damage control and perhaps make the AJ fight ASAP. I believe the Zone have sent Eddie Hearn out there because Eddie's put several feelers out there he'd like to make the fight. Frank Warren himself said that AJ and Fury is bigger than Fury Usyk, which is a turnaround from what he said in December. Frank Warren will be wanting to make an AJ fight ASAP. Reasons: they've already fought Wilder 3 times and Fury got the better of that series. The undisputed fight, they let that fall through the cracks. Not once, but twice. 2021 against AJ and 2023 against Usyk. And although it won't make up for the disappointment of not getting an undisputed fight, it will give the fans something they've been looking forward to for a long time in the UK and around the world. It will go some way into making up for not getting that Usyk fight done. The Joe Joyce fight is a good fight, but it's risk-reward. With Fury catching most of the heat in the fallout with the Usyk fight, does Joyce versus Fury go to a stadium in the summer? It's not a Saudi fight, I tell you that much now. I don't believe so. It could be, but I doubt it. Is it a Wembley Stadium fight right now, as it stands with Fury's low popularity ranking? It will be interesting to see how Joyce reacts if he doesn't get the fight either. I'm sure it will be about time he had words with Frank Warren, like, what's happening to my career here? All these fights fall through, and I still never get an opportunity. You put Derek before me, now Anthony Joshua, and I'm signed to you. Daniel will probably get a shot at Usyk. What are you doing for me? At the media day recently, AJ said Tyson Fury needs him. And what's the truth? Who can do more pay-per-view with Tyson Fury than Anthony Joshua? AJ has no mandatory obligations like he's had in the past few years when he had a strap. They will need to make this fight ASAP because it's the hugest fight in British boxing history, arguably the biggest fight in boxing today. All eyes will be on this fight, whether it's in Wembley. They don't even need the Saudi money for this one. They don't need the Saudi money, although they'll take it. Where else is there to go for Tyson Fury? Unless they can pick up the negotiations and get the Usyk fight on stress-free. AJ looks the likely fight, providing certain events run their course. The Fury damage control must be quick and effective, with an amnesia type of effect on those who have been frustrated through the past 6 months with how they've tackled the Usyk situation. And there's only one boxer I can think of who can provide that for them, and that's Anthony Joshua. There's some people saying that Usyk pulled out because he wants the Wilder fight and he can get a load of money from the Saudis for taking it. I don't know why that rumour's going about. I mean, are Krashuk and Klimas going to give up their one bargaining chip, the WBO belt, to make that match? What's Frank Warren going to do? Let Daniel Dubois take some shekels in step-aside money while Deontay Wilder steps up and takes the title shot that Daniel should have? I don't see it. What would be the incentive for Frank Warren to do that? Or for Usyk to give up the belt? Are the Saudis going to pay that much money for the Wilder fight? The Zone have a lot of money behind them, and they're pushing Eddie out there to get that Fury fight made by hook or by crook. 70-30, I have a feeling that Hearn and AJ will take it. Unless Fury retires, which was spoke about by several of the UK newspaper blogs. But how seriously can we take that? How seriously can we take anything he says?
Lyndon Arthur on track for IBO title fight in May, says Sowland. Yes and no. I mean, yes, obviously he won on the weekend, but that was a guy that came in on like a couple of days' notice or something, wasn't it? Like a really short notice. I thought Lyndon Arthur at times looked okay, but just okay. By the way, that fight done like 1.5 million views on Channel 5. Good numbers, man. Very, very good numbers.
I don't know if Lyndon Arthur is the guy, but if Channel 5 develop an attraction a terrestrial television boxing star in the UK, has mega potential. 1.5.
But the reality is that Channel 5 does 5 times the viewers of Sky.
Does it?
Yeah, Channel 5, they do 1 million audience, 1.3 million peak, you know? But what is the audience? Do you know what I mean? And that audience, how relevant are they? Do they have disposable income? You know, do they follow you on social? Can they be part of your journey? Or are they just got Channel 5 on because they left it on after the movie?
I'll make sure I leave October Red's channel in the description box. You should sub. She is excellent boxing media, and I'm not just saying that to say that. She's really good. And this was one of the better media videos I've seen in a long time. She got Eddie to really break down what he expects from fighters and how ruthless he has perhaps become and has to be.
It's a personal question on a business level. You have to be ruthless, but how have you managed to maintain it? And you are weathering some storms.
You just have to make the right business decisions. You know, you can't let emotion get in the way.
I only took a short snippet because I want you to make sure that Homegirl gets her views and listen to the whole of it. It's deep, it's deep. Eddie said sometimes you just got to let fighters go if their commercial value is not representing the numbers that, without saying Ben Shalom's name, is willing to pay you. But he said, if your commercial value is elite, I'm ad-libbing there, it's not exactly what he said, then we won't let you go. He said, I doubt we will ever lose a fighter who has elite commercial value. Now that is like a big statement. He took a shot at a lot of fighters who have defected over to Sky. Not just Lawrence Okoli. There's more. He's took a shot at a lot of them, from Liam Smith to Savannah Marshall to Okoli, Boatsi, and the others, Billiam Smith, that, if your commercial value was elite, you'd still be here. We'd be using that matching right and you'd still be here. Eddie said, when fighters say, I don't feel like I'm a priority, it means they ain't doing numbers. That cuts to the bone. You have to go to volume 314 to continue.